Ozeron Funeral Services, under the supervision of Mr. Ronald Chimpanga, the Director of Operations, offers the following services: body care, caskets, coffins, tombstones, and long-distance transport. We also provide tents, chairs, and lowering machines. Find us in Lusaka at UTH and Charleston. Contact us on the number 0976 1612 13, that is 0976 161213, or contact us via our 24/7 hotline on 0975 442107. We also have branches in Monze, Luansha, Chongwe, and Livingston. Horizon Funeral Services. Come for affordable and quality services.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've invited first.
It's almost here. Your gateway to the north is loading in preparation for those wanting to explore the region. That's right, Kasama Airport has been opening its doors to travelers. Explore Kasama through your gateway to possibilities. Zambia Airports Corporation Limited. Keep flying.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, aircon filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is Evening News, the headlines. Police are investigating the cause of death of a 13-year-old girl who was reported missing on 11th February 2023. Zambia asks Seychelles for collaboration on some of the tourism initiatives. Nigeria burns $1.4 million worth of pangolin scales. And now the news in detail. My name is Judith Mwape. Police are investigating the actual cause of death of a 13-year-old female identified as Lydia Siachetema, who was reported missing on February 11, 2023, following the discovery of a human skeleton linked to her at a named farm in New Kasama area in Lusaka. Confirming the development in a statement, Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale says the owner of the farm, while patrolling his farm area, discovered a human skeleton and immediately called his neighbors, who, together after a thorough search, discovered a faded chitenge material tied to a tree about 30 meters away from the scene. He says later one of the neighbors identified the chitenge material to be that of her niece, identified as Lydia Siachetema, aged 13, who was reported missing on February 11, 2023, around 08 hours. He says police officers were alerted and rushed to the scene. He says investigations revealed that the matched with the description in the report recorded about the missing person on February 11, 2023. He says the remains of the deceased were taken to the University Teaching Hospital's mortuary awaiting postmortem. Zambia has asked Seychelles for collaboration on some of the tourism initiatives that have helped the sector to grow in the Indian Ocean island. Speaking on the sidelines of a bilateral meeting between the Seychelles delegation led by the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Tourism, Sylvester Radaport, and the Zambia delegation at the ongoing UNWTO General Assembly in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, Minister of Tourism Rodney Sukumba said that country's tourism sector is worth learning considering the good number of tourism arrivals. The minister says Zambia will be glad to learn how Seychelles is among the few countries in the sub-Saharan Africa that have managed to implement the tourism satellite account that is working very well in that country. He says there is also need to see how some exchange programs could also be generated between tertiary institutions that are offering training so that they could produce fully backed industry staff. Mr. Sukumba said against this background, there is need for benchmarking programs between the two countries' tourism stakeholders.
Over and above the success stories we hear from in terms of tourism, hospitality, as it were, within sub-Saharan Africa, you're one of the countries which obviously implemented the TSA.
At Seychelles.
Seychelles, rather. Yeah. Seychelles. And having implemented the TSA, we strongly felt as Zambia, obviously being a member state, to see how we could collaborate.
And Mr. Redegod said Seychelles has deliberately created an online border control system to help with tourists' easy passage into the country.
We have a sort of a border control system. It's online. Basically, it used to be what, now it is what the disembarkation card would have been. And it's done electronically. Simpler version. Basically, before you visit Seychelles, you log in and say you come in, these are your passport details. So it provides us with the statistics, but also for you on landing in Seychelles, you don't queue up. There's no queuing up at immigration. You walk in, we have a sophisticated system.
Meanwhile, Seychelles Principal Secretary Sherin Francis said there is need to revamp the collaboration of operators that existed between the two countries for free flow of the tourism traffic.
To build some packages between our two operators in Seychelles and the two operators in Zambia. They managed to build some packages. But I think there was a point where we lost this connectivity.
Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali has arrived in the People's Republic of China to attend the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation. This follows an invitation that was extended to the minister by the host country, China. Last month, September, President Hakainde Hichilema was in China on a 6-day state visit following an invitation by his counterpart, President Xi Jinping, and various high-level deliberations were undertaken. Mr. Tayali is expected to meet and interact with various leaders at the conference in Beijing from 17th to 18th of October, which marks the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative BRI, championed by President Xi Jinping, with representatives from many countries, notably from Latin America and Africa. The minister is expected to attend the official opening of the summit to be graced by President Xi Jinping. Later in the day, he will participate in the high-level forums where he will speak to the two topical subjects. On the other topic the minister is expected to deliberate on is promoting infrastructure connectivity among the Belt and Road Cooperation partner countries for an open world economy. The BRI is a plan for global infrastructure and energy networks that China launched a decade ago to connect Asia with Africa and Europe through land and maritime routes. This is according to a statement issued by Ministry of Transport and Logistics Public Relations Officer Nduri Mvula. Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Vice President, Lydiane Kapusana, is in Paris, France, to participate at the inaugural School Meals Coalition Global Summit. The summit, which will end on 19th October 2023, is aimed at taking stock of the progress made to improve and restore school meals programs as a transformational platform for food and education systems since the creation of the coalition in 2021. The summit will also review the strides made by coalition members in achieving the commitments made in transformational system pathways, such as the provision of nutritious meals in schools and the long-term plan of ensuring easy access to food by the children. Speaking upon arrival in Paris, Ms. Kapusana, who is also the deputy chairperson of the Standing Committee of Permanent Secretaries on Nutrition, stated that Zambia has made significant milestones in the school meals program, with over 2.3 million learners on the feeding program in 70 districts after domesticating the pathways with the aim of ending hunger and all forms of malnutrition in line with the Sustainable Development Goal number 2 of 2030. Ms. Kapusana noted the importance of the summit in mobilizing international cooperation and building strong collaboration with stakeholders in order to expand the school feeding program to other districts in Zambia. The School Meals Coalition, which was launched in September 2021, is aimed at providing every child with a healthy and nutritious school meal by 2030. This is according to a statement issued to 5FM News by Embassy of the Republic of Zambia, Paris First Secretary Press, Naomi Mwemba. President Hakainde Hichilema has received letters of credence from head of the European Union delegation to Zambia and COMESA, Ms. Carolina Stasiak, Ambassador of Holy See to Zambia, Apostolic Nuncio Archbishop Gian Perishi, and Ambassador of the Kingdom of Norway to Zambia, Mrs. Ingrid Marie Melkersen. The head of state has since called on their excellencies to foster trade and investment linkages during their tenure for the mutual benefit of the people and assured them of the government's commitment to collaborate in achieving tangible outcomes. President Hichilema reiterated their unwavering commitment to the two pillars of peace, stability, and security on one hand, and economic diplomacy aimed at job creation and poverty reduction on the other. The head of state has observed regional and international instability exemplified by the conflict in Ukraine, which has led to soaring fuel and fertilizer prices, consequently affecting global food prices. President Hichilema says this underscores the long-standing belief that instability anywhere has ripple effects everywhere.
Zambia's foreign policy is anchored on two pillars. We as a country believe that one pillar must be anchored on peace, security, stability. Very important. Peace, security, and stability. In our individual countries, in our regions, on our continents, and the world. This being the basic pillar, the second pillar is Zambia, which is to focus working with yourselves to promote economic and social development.
In other stories trending this evening, agriculture economist Edify Hamogale says the large-scale involvement of Zambia National Service in Milling Food Reserve Agency maize is a game-changer in milling meal pricing, as it will help lower milling meal prices and benefit the consumer. Patriotic Front chairperson for Information and Publicity, Emmanuel Mwamba, has dispelled sentiments circulating in some media tabloids that former President Edgar Lungu is a PF candidate. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The Institute of Internal Auditors Zambia and the Zambia Institute of Chartered Accountants have signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the Joint National Auditors Conference, which is slated for 19th and 20th October 2023. Speaking during the signing ceremony, IAS President Thomas Kaunda says the MOU opens the doors to further cooperation between the two organizations on matters of mutual interest, with the ultimate goal of enhancing the standards, practices, and ethical principles with the professions. Mr. Kaunda says the cooperation will strengthen the ability to address the evolving challenges and complexities of the financial and auditing landscape in Zambia. He says the conference will provide a unique opportunity for the two institutions to learn from one another and foster synergies that will ultimately benefit the professions in Zambia.
Practices relating to ethical principles and professionalism will also be enhanced. And that is how or why this occasion is very, very important to the two institutions. So this cooperation will strengthen our ability to address the evolving challenges and the complexities that we see in the accounting and auditing landscape here in Zambia.
And Zika President Yande Mwenye says this collaboration will significantly contribute to the growth and development of the auditing profession in the country.
Zika and IIAZ, by joining forces through this MOU, we are not only strengthening our own organizations, but also contributing significantly to the growth and development of the auditing profession in Zambia. Ladies and gentlemen, the benefits of such partnerships are clear. By working together, we can combine our expertise, our experience, and our resources to achieve common goals that might otherwise be difficult to attain.
FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now on foreign news. Nigeria has burned $1.4 million worth of pangolin scales, says officials. The announcement marks the first time the West African nation has publicly destroyed seized wildlife products in order to discourage illegal trafficking. The pangolin, a shy and critically endangered animal, is one of the world's most trafficked mammals. Their scales are in high demand in traditional medicine, Chinese medicine. Nigeria has become a major transit hub for African pangolin scales and other wildlife products trafficked to Asia. Here's Rhonda from the BBC.
International aid agencies are continuing to call for urgently needed aid to be allowed into Gaza, as hundreds of lorries carrying supplies are still waiting for permission to go through the Rafah crossing. The World Health Organization's regional director, Ahmed Almadari, has said that Gaza is barreling towards catastrophe. During his visit, President Biden will be briefed on Israel's strategy, as well as how it seeks to minimize civilian casualties. Our diplomatic correspondent, James Landau, says Mr. Biden's visit to Israel during a time of war is important. The Belgian authorities Authorities say police have shot and killed the man who murdered 2 Swedish football fans in the capital Brussels on Monday. They say he was a Tunisian who was living in Belgium illegally. Chinese President Xi Jinping has opened a forum of 130 countries he's hosting to celebrate 10 years of Beijing's huge infrastructure project, the Belt and Road Initiative. Among the first leaders to meet Mr. Xi was Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban, but the chief guest is President Putin, who's making his first visit to a leading world power. Moscow invaded Ukraine.
And finally, in sports news, Darren England and Daniel Cook are to return to Premier League duty for the first time since their error during Liverpool's defeat at Tottenham. England and Cook were the VAR and assistant VAR when Luis Diaz's goal for Liverpool was incorrectly ruled out for offside in their 2-1 loss last month. The pair were stood down for 2 later matches that the same weekend and excluded from the following round of fixtures. England will be the 4th official as Bradford host Burnley on Saturday. And that sporting item brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Police are investigating the cause of death of a 13-year-old girl who was reported missing on 11th February 2023. Zambia asks Seychelles for collaboration on some of the tourism initiatives. Nigeria burns $1.4 million worth of pangolin scales. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwabe. Good evening.